Yo, what's up, y'all? We're shaking, happy Manic Monday and all that. Driving on the way to see my little girl. So I figured I'd go live and chat about this topic real quick. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to ask y'all first and foremost, did y'all see that Tracy Ellis Ross interview with Michelle Obama? Right? Michelle Obama, and I think it was like her brother or her close friend or somebody that she was doing an interview with, and they interviewed Tracy Ellis Ross. And it was a very good interview. It was a very insightful interview. And but for me it was kind of triggering. I got to keep it a stack with you. I don't really have a lot of celebrity crushes, but if I did, I feel like Tracy Ellis Ross would probably be one of those, right? Because she's goofy, she's intelligent, she is a big personality, she is successful, all of those things, right? And that all those things to me are super attractive, right? At 50 plus or 49 plus, right? But she started saying some things that would just sounded crazy to me. She did make a lot of good, valid points about her upbringing, and one thing particular about Tracy Ellis Ross, which makes her, for lack of a better word, a unicorn, as she said, she's a very unique individual. What does that mean? Not every celebrity has a super duper superstar mom, right? There's probably a handful of people in Hollywood that have a super famous mother or whatever, right? Or dad. Her mom is, as you all probably already know, is Diana Ross, probably one of the most notable singers in the entire world. One of the most beautiful people, beautiful voices, great actress. The accolades can go from here to Mars. She's done it all, right? So from the time that Tracy Ellis Ross was in Diana Ross's belly, she was famous. As crazy as that sounds, right? Tracy Ellis, Diana Ross is pregnant. Who's the father of this kid? You know what I'm saying? What does he look like? Where is he? You know, what's this baby gonna be like? Is this baby gonna be a singer, an actress, a model, all the above, a congresswoman, the president? What is she gonna do? What is she gonna be? She ended up being a fantastic actress, right? So then you have that. You have this person that has this incredible background and history from the mom on down, and now she is a very notable actress and entertainer, right? And so that going into the dating world, that in and of itself already makes it difficult because you're a celebrity. So now you have to go out into this crazy world and attempt to date somebody in your age range, 52 or 53, whatever her age is, and date somebody that makes the money that you make, that probably has to be famous as you are, and also, of course, have to be compatible with you, right? What are the chances of finding this person that's probably like less than 1% that have all those accolades? Famous, millionaire, good looking, intelligent, compatible, right? You got to have all of those things, which makes sense. Most people, or most women, I believe, if they make $100,000, they probably want a man that makes $100,000 or more. Very rarely do they be like, you know what, you don't got to make what I make. You can make half and we'll figure it out. That doesn't always happen. It does happen, but it doesn't always happen. So imagine if you got 30, 40, 50 million, right? And you got to find a guy that makes 30, 40, 50 million. Now you're talking about 0.00.2% of the population that you got to try to date. So at this age, I think it's safe to say you have not found your person. You don't have children and you don't have a husband, and you voice your opinion about how you feel about that, being as though you haven't found your person. You didn't say marriage, you said person, which is fine. Maybe you don't want to be married. But at that age, I would have to imagine that it's difficult to be that age and never been married and never have children. You know what I'm saying? That's just not, for lack of a better word, the norm, right? So then there's that. Then you went on to say that I date younger men because I can. Needless to say, Michelle Obama was bigging that shit up like crazy, which I found crazy, right? Because she's been with Barack for 100 years, so she hasn't been in a dating scene for like 20 some odd years, 30 some odd years, right? So, you know, I just think it's funny that a 50-year-old woman is encouraging another and happy about another 50-year-old woman dating younger, right? So when they said she was dating younger, guess what they didn't do? They didn't even mention the guy's age. How old are these younger men that she's dating? Are they 20? Are they 25? Are they 35? She never said. But the irony in that is that the arguably one of the most noticeable women in today's society, Michelle Obama, is on a public platform bigging up Tracy Ellis Ross for dating and entertaining younger men, even though we don't know what that younger man age is, right? I found that very weird because we are in an environment where men are constantly being called pedophiles and predators for preying on older women, right? Shannon Sharpe is a perfect example of that. Shannon Sharpe is right now going to court. You know, this woman alleges that he did some things or whatever, and it may cost him like $50 million to get away from this. He's losing contracts, he's losing money, his reputation is destroyed over this. So if you're calling him a pedophile and a predator, respectfully, I have to ask, is Tracy Ellis Ross a predator? Even though she didn't say, she didn't say the age of the man that she was dating, I'm willing to bet he's probably like 25. I'm gonna just take a guess. I'm willing to bet he's around 25. I could be wrong, but again, they didn't say the age. So the question is she a predator, right? I'm gonna leave that up to y'all, because I don't even like to be calling anybody any kind of names. But I think the question needs to be asked, right? Is she a predator? So then she goes on to say, I've dated men that are somewhat controlling, and I don't have any interest in doing that anymore. I'm not interested in anything that even remotely smells like toxic masculinity, which is a word that drives me to the moon, bro. Because masculinity is needed. Society hates men so much, we done made masculinity toxic. How? Men built this country, built this world, built this planet. And now masculinity is toxic? How? Who do you think built these roadways and these buildings and created these laws and did everything pretty much? It's been men. So I don't understand now that I guess, you know, in some cases, women feel like they don't need men now. Now, all of a sudden, masculinity is toxic. And I don't like that, and I don't respect it. I think both femininity and masculinity is very much needed in a healthy, successful society. Most nations thrive by having both a man in the house and a woman in the house. It's a proven fact that a child thrives better when they have both parents in the household. That's just common sense. Should you do it by yourself? It can be done. A man can raise a child alone. A woman can raise a child alone. Would that child be better with both functioning adults active in this person's life that's not toxic, that's not dangerous, that's not a drug addict? Would this child end up better overall, ultimately in life? The answer is yes. So stop saying that masculinity is toxic, because it's not. We need it. Do we have men that are abusing their power? Do we have men that are disrespectful and degrade women and take advantage of women and make all of these ridiculous laws about what women can do with their body? Of course we do. Of course. The same way we have toxic human men, we have toxic human women. So that's not, you don't hear the term toxic femininity because a woman just has these outrageous ways of thinking. We don't call them toxic. We just say whatever. They're mental, they have, they're on their cycle, they're emotional creatures. We make all these reasons as to why women can't just be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But men are toxic because of what we do. And it's not fair to say. So back to my point, right? She went on to say something about toxic masculinity because she doesn't want to do the control thing. That's what she said. And my answer to that is like, when a man's job is to provide and protect, a man should have control to some degree. If you're driving a car, you got to control the car. If you're watching a child, you have to control this child because you don't want this child to run out into the street. Right? Your job is to protect the child and keep the child safe. And don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to necessarily compare a woman to a child. I'm simply saying I want to protect my woman. I want to protect my child. That's all I'm saying. Right? So to some degree, I'm going to have to hold this child's hand. I'm going to have to figure out where this child is at, what they're going, who they with. That's not controlling. That's caring. If you have a woman that you love, you want to know about her whereabouts. Where you at, who you with. If you in the mall, are they going to shoot the fucking mall up? If you in the library, they shooting that shit up too. They shooting up movie theaters. They shooting up Burger Kings. Motherfuckers is dying left and right out here just for being at a traffic light and the fucking, they was at the traffic light for too long and got shot in the fucking face. So it's a crazy ass world. Right? So it's important for a man to know where his woman is at because his job is to protect her. It's not always about controlling, and that's not to say there's not men out there that are controlling, but most men that I know that give a fuck about their other half, they want to know where she's at and what she's doing. Not because they trying to clock you and all of this other goofy shit. No, that's my baby. I need to know my baby is alive and safe. Did you eat today? You hungry? Can I bring you lunch? You okay? You got a headache? Your boss is on your nerves? What's going on? I need to get in your business because I care about you. That's my job. Right? So that's not controlling. To me, that's caring. You want a man involved in what you're doing, who you with, where you at. Why wouldn't you? He's concerned about your safety. What is wrong with that? Then she went on to say she doesn't necessarily want to date men her age because she doesn't have the patience to discuss things with older men regarding sexual fluidity. That was the kicker for me. That was really the kicker. Because you go from saying masculinity is toxic, but you're perfectly fine with dating a younger man that probably is open-minded about homosexuality and wouldn't even mind experimenting with homosexuality or bisexuality. Because I realize that a lot of times when you ladies say masculinity is toxic, what y'all really mean is that y'all embrace homosexuality. A lot of y'all that think manhood is toxic love homosexual men. And what do y'all have in common with homosexual men? A lot of homosexual men despise other men, despise other masculine men. And a lot of you women despise masculine men. I really, truly, in my heart, believe there's an attack on masculinity. Bring back real fucking men. Can we do that? I don't have no problem with you being bisexual, trisexual, squad-sexual. That's your business. Just don't try to overimpose your sexuality and push it onto me and my children and other small kids that don't even understand what sexuality is. I don't like that. Let them get to a point in their life where they understand what sexuality is and means to them, and give them the ability to decide once they're old enough to comprehend what that really means. Stop shoving it down their throat. I don't like that. So again, you were mentioning all of these things about sexual fluidity, and it bothers you to be sitting across the table from a man that said certain things about homosexuality. And she went on to say, well, I don't have the patience to mature a man up and grow a man up and teach him about sexual fluidity. What? You mean to tell me, it sounds like you were dating a man that wasn't with the homosexual shit or the bisexual shit, and it embarrassed you because you were probably around people that were probably trannies, bisexual, homosexuals, etc. And you were embarrassed by the fact that your partner wasn't with none of that shit. I'm willing to bet that's what happened. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet that's what happened. Tracy Ellis Ross is absolutely, again, beautiful, intelligent, talented, goofy, all of that shit. All those things. If I ever had a celebrity crush, she would be my celebrity crush. But the ignorance and the entitlement and the straight up delusion that some big quotes on some of you ladies have is absurd, bro. It's absurd. And some of you really think that she said she's in the era of her life of choosing. No, you're not. She says she's in a choiceful stage in her life at 50 something. Ma'am, no, you're not. You're not choiceful. You can choose from the men that approach you. You might even get up enough heart to approach another man, which is cool. We in 2025, I'm not opposed to women approaching men. Things are different. Women shoot your shot all day long. A lot of you won't, because a lot of you are afraid of rejection, right? Men deal with rejection every day. We shoot our shot in DMs, we shoot our shot at the bar, we shoot our shot at the club, we shoot our shot at the drive-thru, and we get shot down every day. Y'all are not used to that. That's why y'all don't shoot your shot, and I get it. I understand it, right? But we're in 2025. Some women want to really go for what they know, and that's cool. That's what they've been doing. So I'm not mad at that. But one thing that a lot of you ladies got to understand is that women control access to sex and men control access to marriage. So a man can't have sex with you unless you give him access to your body. But a man can't marry you, won't marry you until you, one, prove that you're even capable of being a wife. And then once you do that, he has to choose you from all the others, and mind you, it's 5-1. Might be 10-1 in Atlanta. If you in Atlanta, you might as well get a girlfriend, ladies. It's real like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you're 50 plus years old saying that you're in a choiceful era in your life, ma'am, you're not. You're not. You don't have a choice. You do have a choice from the men that approach you, but you don't get to choose who you marry or even when you marry. He does that. Men do that, not you. I don't care if you're beautiful. I don't care if you're successful. I don't care how much money you got. Especially if you are on the market for dating a man that has as much money as you do, Miss Tracy Ellis Ross. 50, 60, 70, 100 million, whatever amount of money you got. The more money you make, the smaller your pool gets of men that you're compatible with, in terms of looks, in terms of getting somebody in your same age bracket, which based on you, that doesn't matter. But looks, you want somebody that's handsome, you want somebody that's intelligent, you want somebody that's sexually fluid, and you want somebody that makes the same money that you have. How are you going to find that at 50 plus years old? When men that are 50 years old and have $1 million, 5, 10, 20, $100 million are dating 20, 25, 30-year-old women. where do you stand in that dating pool next to a man that's 50 years old that has access to 25 and 30-year-old women? How do you compare? They don't, 25-year-olds, some of them don't have no kids. They don't have no stretch marks. Their skin is perfect. They haven't had a lot of sexual partners. They are not traumatized. In a lot of cases, they haven't been ran through. Right? And these older guys, as you see, when you go to these bars in Atlanta, I travel a lot. You in Atlanta, you in Charlotte, you in South Carolina, you in Georgia, wherever you at, Macon, Georgia, wherever you at. You're going to go to a bar, you're going to see men with money, or you go on vacation, go to Cancun. Go to the bar in Cancun. Go to the bar in Puerto Rico. Go to the bar in Hawaii. How many rich guys you going to see there at the bar chilling with they like 70 with money, balling. They got young, these chicks like 22, 25, and they got money. You don't see these 70-year-old men, 60-year-old men with a 50-year-old. You don't see it. Personally, I don't even want a woman. For me, I'm not judging. Whatever people do, they do. But at this stage in my life, at 50 years old, I want a woman that can match my intellect. I can't have a conversation with the 25-year-old woman and you pique my interest because you're not talking about anything that's important to me. So I'm a sapiosexual. You gotta have intellect. I'm not gonna be attracted to you if I can't have a good conversation with you. An intellectual, deep conversation with you. Not just about love and hip hop or the new Jordans and all this other goofy shit. Like, you have to pique my interest intellectually, or else I'm not gonna be, interested. For some people, that's not the case. They're just interested in having a physical relationship. So that doesn't require any intellectual anything. That just means I'm horny, you horny, I got money, you want money, we're gonna have sex. That's what that means to them. I'm just not interested in that. And again, I'm not judging men and people that are. I'm just saying that's not what I would do, that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting that, again, there's women out here 50 years old that still think that they have a choice, that they're choosing. You're absolutely not choosing, man. No, ma'am. You're not choosing. Men control access to marriage. Women control access to sex. You may have men that want to have access to you, that want to date you, that want to show you off, and you dating all these men that are hot and gorgeous and all of this stuff, right? And that's cool. But getting that 25-year-old to marry you, that's going to be a different type of feat, bro. That's going to be a different type of situation and conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. I'm just being real. So anyway, y'all, peace, love, blessings, man. Just wanted to give my 2 cents. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. They said, why are you concerned about what Tracy Ellis Ross is or isn't, or whatever the case may be? And she, they went on to say, oh, Tracy Ellis Ross will never date you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's fine. Me, I love myself enough and I'm delusional enough that I'll shoot my shot at anybody. I don't care if it's a celebrity. I don't care if she's rich. I don't care if I find her attractive and I want her, I'm going at her. She might laugh me out the spot. She might disrespect me, but whatever I want, I'm going at it. Point blank, period. Worst she could say is no. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on that. But anyway, y'all, peace, love, and blessings. Enjoy y'all day. Just wanted to give my 2 cents on that convo. There's other things that I want to be talking about too. There's a lot going on in news. There's a lot going on in culture. So I'm going to start trying to bring some more topics and chat with y'all. But I did this live. I recorded it first, and then I'm going to post it because I was traveling and I didn't want the service to get interrupted and all of that. So now I'm here. But anyway, y'all, peace, love, blessings, and you enjoy y'all day. Talk to y'all soon, man. Peace.